In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make a particle trail in After Effects without plugins. So first, we need our object here. I'm going to use my logo. And we have to create a new solid layer. So create with Ctrl Y. And this will be our particles. Now to this solid layer, let's add the effect CC Particle Systems 2. Okay, so we already have our particles here. And the first thing we are going to do, first you can see here it start the particle animation. So let's bring this particle layer a little back in time. So it already started the animation. And now we are going to, let me see here in Producer, in the position, we can change the position of the particles. So we are going to parent this to the position of our object, in my case my logo. So press P in your object and now double click the position in the particle effect. And you can see it here, the position. And you have to grab the pick whip of the position and select the position of your objects. So now you will see, if I move this, it also will move the particles. So if you want to move this particle this particle in relation with your object, you have to move the layer. So if you want your particles to start from here, just move the layer of the particles there. But if we move the object like above here, you will see the particles layer will have this cut off. So to fix that, we are going to add the effect CC Reptile to the particles layer. Now bring this above all the effects. And you have to select here, instead of repeat, none. And now you just have to expand this value. So I'm gonna make 500 for each side. And now it's fixed. You can move your logo wherever you want. Okay, so now I'm going to make a quick position animation for my logo. So press P, make a keyframe, move forward and move it like over here. And this is these keyframes with F9. And now we have this animation. So you can see the particle animation is a little weird. So we're going to start improving this animation. So now go to, let me see okay. Now go to the particles effect and go to physics. Here we have a explosive animation, but it's too much. So we are going to decrease that animation by decreasing the velocity. I recommend you something like, I don't know, 0.1 maybe. Or even a little more if you want. And also the gravity, I feel that is too much. So I'm also going to decrease the gravity here until this is, let's try 0.1 also. Okay, it's decent. But I'm going to decrease the velocity too. There you have it. So you can see the point the particles bounce is like a little too small. So to increase that point, we have to go here to Producer and we have to increase the radius on the X axis and the Y axis. So for me that's good. And I'm going to make another animation to bring my logo back. So it will go from here and to here. And I want the particles to be more reactive to the movement of my logo. So to make that, here in physics we have to increase the inherent velocity. So I recommend you a value like 50, and this will be better. You can see it there. If you think this is too much, you can decrease it. Let's try with 25. But I'm going to keep this to 40, let's say. And now let's change the particles. So go here to particle, and here you can select the particle you want. It could be line, it could be stars. I'm gonna decrease the birth rate to have less particles, but because I have a lot of particles. Something like this. This is the star particle. And my favorite particles are the faded sphere. It's a simple sphere particle. Pretty basic. And what other? Okay, you can also have a 3D cube as a particle, but try to decrease the birth rate because it's too dense, this particle. And some tetrahedron. It's like a, I don't know, a triangle. And you can have flat particles like this 3 polygon, the quad polygon, and so on. I'm going to use the tetrahedron maybe. I like this particle. So let me change the colors of the particle first. So here I'm gonna use a similar color to my logo, increase the brightness, and here I use a color like this. Okay. So you can also change the scale of these particles by going here in the birth size and the death size. So if you want a constant scale particle with a constant scale, you can, I don't know, increase this to 1 and the death size to 1 also. And it will be always in this scale, but this is too much. I'm gonna decrease it. And at the end, I want this to be really small, like 0.2, 0.3. So I'm gonna decrease the size here at the beginning. And you can also increase here the size variation. This will make some particles bigger and others smaller. I recommend you to increase that option to make it look even better. Increase the inherent velocity. 50. And the opacity map here is basically the opacity of the particles over time. So this fade out will make the particles to fade out when when some seconds happen. And I recommend you to use this fade in and fade out. So it will start from the opacity of 0, let's say, then will increase to 100, and then to 0 again. And let me see what other thing. So you can change the opacity here. Okay, and let's bring a better look to these particles by adding a glow effect. So let's add a glow and increase the glow radius to 50. And let's duplicate it. And now let's increase it to 200. So now we have this little glow to match particles. And here you can change the transfer mode or the blend mode of the particles. If you select, for example, add, you will have this effect of the increased brightness when the particles are too staggered. When you have a cluster of particles, the brightness will go up. I'm gonna increase the burst rates. And I'm going to make this more orange. This more pink. Also, I'm gonna decrease the burst size and the depth size. And let me see if I don't forget about anything. Yeah. So the last thing is that you can make these particles to last longer. For example, if I move my logo here, you will see here they start to disappear. You can increase the longevity or decrease it. If you increase it, they will last more time. If you decrease it, will last fewer time. So I'm gonna make a little animation like this. And then here at the center. So you can see this particle trail is a really reactive trail that follows your object, and it have a nice customization. So you can select the particle you want, change the color, the opacity, the scale, anything. And also I'm gonna add a little motion blur to my logo. And I think the particles have like a motion blur. Okay. I'm also gonna enable the motion blur for the particles. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna make this motion to be faster. So I'm gonna grab all the keyframes and bring it closer. There you have it. So let's try with another particles with the lines, for example. have to increase the birth rate. And there you can really see the motion of each individual particle. Okay, I'm gonna make something here. So you can see they are pretty reactive particles. So I think that's all. Yeah. So that's all for today's tutorial. You can download this project file in the description down below, and I'll see you in the next video.